solving problems, learning, and teaching others. These are the three main things I aim to do as a developer. And well, while doing that, also produce high quality code. It sounds nice in theory, but quite hard to do in practice. And today, we are going to see how pair programming can help us with that. What is up, guys, and welcome to Developer Habits, a YouTube channel for software engineers about growth mindset, developer lifestyle, and technical tutorials. My name is Ketmar, I'm a full stack engineer from Estonia, and today we are going to talk about pair programming. Understandably, one cannot be asked to always be on top of their game. In my case, sometimes when I get a new assignment, I lack the skills, I may lack the timely resources, or there are also days when I just don't have enough motivation. But there is one programming method that I've found really useful to help with those problems, and that's called pair programming. In its essence, pair programming means that two people pair up to go together on one machine. Doing pair programming, two developers constantly share their ideas, collaborate, and review each other. The collaboration can be done either by sitting behind one desk or by using online tools. There are many different ways how pair programming can be done, and now I'm gonna list the most popular ones. As the name suggests, using this method, one of the developers is the coder and the other one is thinking about more general questions and also making live reviewing. For example, imagine you have to filter through a list of animals based on some kind of specific logic. In that case, the navigator could come up with the conditions for filtering and the coder, who is holding the keyboard, can just implement the filtering system. It's important that the driver always speaks out loud what they are doing. And at the same time, the navigator must be observing what's being implemented, that the implementation makes sense and no bugs are introduced. Using this method, well-defined time limits should be implemented, for example 20 to 25 minutes, and after time limits, the roles will be switched. Additionally, the members of the pair should have similar experience and skill levels. This method is making use of test-driven development, or TDD, and the flow is something similar. Developer A writes a failing test, developer B writes the code to pass the test. Now, developer B writes a failing test, and developer A writes the code to pass the test. And this cycle can go on and on and on, and thus the name being Pong methods. Fun, right? This style is really similar to an actual driver-navigator situation in a car, for example, with all the high-level commands coming from the navigator and the driver doing the lower-level implementation. It's a technique to be used when you want to transfer knowledge or one of the members of the pair has much more knowledge on the topic than the other one. Using this method, the navigator does all the thinking and the driver just listens and implements what's being said. The main rule for the navigator is that in order for their ideas to end up in the code, it must go through the driver's hands. Regarding the driver, one should ask questions only when they don't understand what to do. The why part can be explained later. From my experience, it's a good programming method when you want to mentor others. That's a method I just made up. For the past week, I've been pair programming with one of my colleagues, and regarding development, we are quite like-minded and have similar skill sets. We haven't applied any strict rules to our development flow. We just share the screen and live edit the code together using live share. It's something similar you can do using Google Docs. During the sessions, we discuss and implement the ideas on the go. When one is writing the code, then the other one is watching in order to catch bugs and provide suggestions. It's similar to driver and navigator methods, but just a bit looser. I believe this method works well only if you know your partner well and you have similar skill set and ideas. There are many reasons why pair programming can benefit you, and now I'm gonna list just the ones I've experienced. By utilizing pair programming, the quality that you produce can be so much higher than when working alone. The main reasons for that are pair pressure, live reviewing, and the ability to discuss ideas. As you write the code during pair programming, you always have someone to observe you, spot the bugs, and suggest improvements. I even dare to say that it's hard to get someone to check your code that thoroughly during normal code reviews. One of the main reasons I like pair programming is that I can learn and teach at the same time. When working on projects I know nothing about, pair programming is a great way to get myself up to speed. When working with someone more knowledgeable about the project, they can provide me with all the hows and whys behind the project. To be honest, I've learned many coding patterns, Unix commands, and Visual Studio tricks just by pair programming. On the other side, when I'm learning, I can also share my knowledge. As a navigator, it can be done by explaining the project or suggesting new ideas for the implementation. When being a driver, I can do the implementation and the navigator can learn from my way of coding. Also, when there are questions why something is done in a particular way, it sparks up new conversations. I believe that every developer should be able to articulate their thoughts. As communication is a vital part of pair programming, you get to practice that a lot. Human interaction. During the times when we are forced to work from home, having some kind of human interaction is really important. And well, pair programming is a really nice way to integrate it into your workflow. Pair programming is great for sharing knowledge, producing high quality code, and it also makes people communicate. That said, if you are doing a task that's time critical and quality isn't the most important aspect, then maybe pair programming isn't the way to go. In case the task at hand is really simple and quality is one of the main goals, then pair programming may not be the way to go. It has been proven that with simple tasks, pair programming may not contribute to higher quality. There are people who work better alone or just feel really uncomfortable doing pair programming. That's why I advise you to make sure that you have a good chemistry with your partner and similar work ethics. I've seen it during mentoring that pairing up very different people may do more harm than good. Also, when tutoring isn't the goal here, people with similar skill set should be paired. As pair programming requires lots of collaboration and focus, it's hard to do it for the whole day. Before you start, agree on how often will you be taking breaks and how long will you be pair programming for. Based on my experience, having 5-minute breaks every 30 minutes is quite efficient, and the whole collaboration can last for about 4 hours a day. Also, before you start, let yourselves know if you have any meetings or other responsibilities so you can agree on when to have breaks. As you can see, pair programming can be quite beneficial. You can learn, teach, and write better code at the same time. When working remotely, it's also a nice way to involve human interaction into your workflow. That said, there are things to consider before implementing it. The pair should have a good chemistry and the goals of the collaboration should be clear for both sides. That said, if you haven't tried out pair programming, then I strongly suggest you do so. So that's it, guys. I thank you for listening and I genuinely hope you learned something new. If you have experiences with pair programming, then please share your experience in the comment section below. And if you are interested in growth mindset, developer lifestyle, or technical tutorials, then please do hit the subscribe button below. That's it. Bye.